At the late night double feature academic show. Oh, hoy hoy gang, if this is your first time with us, welcome. And if you're joining us from a previous video, hey, we love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. That's right, it's a twofer, a terrible twofer. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw we got not one, but two brand new Amercan Dad episodes back to back. And after a month wait, was it worth it? Kinda. I have thoughts. You didn't click on this video because you didn't want my thoughts. But it's a little, column A, column B, it's a little old and new. It's got a lot of elements that fall in place and some that are just askew. So how were the last two episodes of Amercan Dad? Well, there's only one way to find out and three questions that must be asked. What worked, what failed, what John Mayer siren songs will be curtailed? That giant baseball robot could definitely fight a kaiju creature. It's time for the Amercan Dad Season 20 double feature. Dumpston checks in. I feel like I have a monkey's paw, gang. I don't know how to explain it. I was rewatching the Amercan Dad episodes like a proper dadder does in breaks between new daddage, you see. And I was like, we haven't seen Principal Lewis. We haven't had a school episode. It sure would be odd if they wrote Principal Lewis out. I mean, it's not like Kevin Michael Richardson's not available. He's even on Family Guy, and I'm pretty sure he's in The Simpsons. I can't prove it, but I think he is. And then, through the power of audio engineering magic, I Googled it, and sure enough, he is in The Simpsons. And sure enough, I could feel that finger just a-curling, because we got a school episode with Principal Lewis front and center. And boy howdy boy gosh, is it a weird ride. Not a bad ride, not about to say it's a bad ride, just a ride. Steve has been named the school's bestest boy, so of course he is Principal Lewis's assistant, and the new superintendent has come in and said, hey, the Minister of Tests has come in, refuses a bribe, and now all the kids have to pass a standardized test. So Steve and the boys go to break into the Ministry of Tests to change all the scores and save the day. However, their newest teammate, Dumpston Flunko, who's the dumbest kid in school, actually being tutored by Barry, gives them all 101%, not 100, and ends up making them all certified geniuses that can solve any problem. And in the background, there's this meteor that's coming towards the Earth with a volcano on top of it, and it'll absolutely destroy the world. What's the B story? Stan getting very, very, very upset about his takeout orders and desperately looking for a new place to get takeout from, so he gets proper burger to fry ratio. I genuinely don't know how to feel about this episode. Because on the one hand, it feels like a kooky teenage adventure somehow spirals out of control. Parody of, teen kid PG adventure movie where they break into the SAT place, become certified geniuses, and have to live with the consequences of their actions. I like Principal Lewis being this inspiring principal that just keeps believing in his team and how they're gonna save the day no matter what because he followed Steve's advice. But the episode as a whole is okay. It's not amazing. It's not like, wow, this is the best episode I've ever seen. It's a hold your hand and paint by numbers Amercan Dad episode. If you've watched enough Amercan Dad up to this point, you can probably predict where it's gonna go. You can probably predict what's going to happen. Of course they get put on a spaceship to save the day. Of course the spaceship's a giant robot. Of course the giant robot knocks the meteor away with a giant robot bat. These are natural progressions of narrative. This is what we expect. Like, okay, if this was an old King of the Hill episode, no one would believe Bobby would get into these antics, without a reason. Like, there's no way Bobby would get on a spaceship, go to space, and hit a meteor with a baseball bat. There is no logical leap that you could make with Chris that he's somehow smart enough to pilot a giant robot and knock away a meteor. And it wouldn't be an entertaining story with Chris because he does not have friends. He has no one else to play off of. He is just Chris. Whereas Steve and the world of Amercan Dad has been built and designed to be so weird, so expertly crafted to just allow the absurdity in. You know, do we have just a little drip of absurdity in an episode? Do we make it a real surreal Twilight Zone, steady stream? Or do we just make it an absolute gush of absurdity? And this is the gush episode. That's how I would describe this episode. Yeah, sure. The gush. This is, if you've watched Amercan Dad up to this point, you will not be surprised by any of this. This will feel entirely natural to you. To someone just going into Amercan Dad, this will be one of the most bizarre things you've ever seen. And I've watched it 3 times now. I actually appreciate that. I appreciate that Tuttle's in the background and just getting the purged. I appreciate that there's this whole side thing between the anchors doing the breaking news about the end of the world, and there being a character that everyone's like, I'm surprised that's not you, Roger. He's like, I can't be everybody. Now, granted, he's really nobody in this episode. He's sitting on the couch, and that's fine. That's okay. He doesn't need to be featured in every episode. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. And I've talked about it before, but I really appreciate that there's no special guest in this episode. Everyone that has a role in this episode has been in previous episodes of Amercan Dad. Richard Kind, Patrick Stewart, David Koechner, Joe Latrulio is Dumpston. Like, everyone that's here has been in the show before. And I don't know, these ensemble episodes really make the show shine because it shows that they always have this talent at play. Gary Anthony Williams is here as the anchor, but he was also the guy that stole the high five from Klaus. They all know the notes they need to hit for the episode as a whole to shine. This Dumpston Checks In is not the best episode of the season. Let us not get carried away. Let us not say that. But I didn't regret watching it. I never felt like it was a slog, unlike some episodes of Family Guy. I never felt like I had to click away or pause the episode. Now, yeah, some of the Dumpston stuff did drag on for a little too long, but overall, it's a school episode. I think I like it better than the clam episode. I think it's definitely better than the clams. And plus, who doesn't love Alana Ubach? I don't know. The more I talk about the episode, the more I get swayed on it. It's got a dumb charm, especially with the final bit being, Toshi, you've got to convert Celsius and Fahrenheit. Snot, you've got to get over your crippling anxiety and just press the big red button. That's the only way you save us all. Oh, man, I don't know if I can do it. The whole world's counting on you. Oh, man. Like, it's so dumb. But it's an excellent, well-crafted dumb. And if it took itself seriously, if it showed people having genuine care and concern about the end of the world, I think the episode wouldn't have worked at all. Stan is more focused on his takeout. Francine is going out and doing The Purge. Like, sure, you could argue they're just that dumb, or they're just that used to it. They're just that used to Amercan Dad world being this absurdist spectacle. I don't know. There's some heat in that bag. There's some passion there. Dumpston Checks In is 101 scoring 7 out of 10. I don't know why I said 101. That would imply an A. That would imply 10 out of 10 territory. But nope. The Donkey Shame. Stan accidentally lets go of Francine after collecting the snacks that she ran up to the helicopter for him and drops her, I don't know, like 300 feet, and she barely survives, having to have major surgery. The episode then cuts over 6 months later after she's made a full recovery and she's talking with Dr. Faye. She's convinced that John Mayer has created a radio station to speak exclusively to her and get her to come to Vegas and see him. Stan, thinking it's from her head injury, feels incredibly guilty about what he did and isn't about to tell his wife she's wrong because he's living with that guilt and desperate for her to be happy, even though she swears she's fine. And so Stan takes Francine to Vegas to get her, I guess, revenge or interest sated in John Mayer. Now, this is where I think you can draw a great parallel between this season of American Dad and this season of Family Guy. I know, why do it, huh? Why would I dare do a thing like that? Remember the Tom Brady episode in Family Guy? Well, Tom Brady in that episode was played by Josh Robert Thompson, and it just fell off. In this episode of American Dad, John Mayer is played by Josh Robert Thompson and sounds fine. I may not remember what John Mayer sounds like, but he hits the notes he's supposed to and does a fine job at it. Do I care that John Mayer isn't here? No, not really, because not only do we have the return of Mary Steenburgen, but the receptionist character that they run into would be played by RuPaul. As a character that has no name, that's just RuPaul running around Vegas, which I think is the best way to use RuPaul as a special guest. That is some peak daddage right there. That is how you do it. You just have RuPaul going around going, oh, it's giving mother. Yes, queen. Yes. Slay. Doesn't provide any other relevance to the episode other than taking reservations, is not pivotal to the story at all, but you will never forget that RuPaul showed up in this episode in particular. And that's great. That's wonderful. It's distracting enough that you probably don't even remember John Mayer's not played by John Mayer in this episode. But wait, it gets better. RuPaul gets some tickets to go see a show, and what show do they get? Wayne Newton's. And I was positive Mr. Las Vegas was dead. Nope, he's 84 years young and going strong. And, you know, I drink the dumb idiot juice from time to time because when I heard Wayne Newton, I was like, I've heard that voice somewhere. Oh my God! Did they get the guy that plays Mr. New Vegas in my favorite video game of all time, Fallout New Vegas, to play Wayne Newton? Guess what, gang? You're gonna find this out like I did. Wayne Newton played Mr. New Vegas in Fallout New Vegas. Wayne Newton's played by Wayne Newton, everybody, and he's great. I love him in this. I think he's delightful. He is just so on board. He says all his lines with such a charisma, and it's great. I love that Stan and Wayne Newton team up to save Francine, and he's just along for the ride going, you know, I sleep in a hyperbaric chamber. And it's like, yeah, Wayne Newton, I believe that for you. I love that for you. Good guy, Wayne Newton. Also, this episode's Roger, the one that works in the Wayne Newton fan store, probably one of my favorite personas of the season. I am delighted by him and his hyperbaric capsule, shenanigan. Where the last episode was familiar American Dad shenanigans, this episode is, hey, we're still having fun though. We've still got, a good time. It's the Smiths go to Vegas, but it's really just Stan, Francine, and Roger, and they're not having this wacky Simpsons adventure where thousands of people guest star for just like a second and disappear, and that way you're just, bombarded with references. No, if you've ever been to Vegas, there are two things you are going to see everywhere. RuPaul / drag queens and Wayne Newton. They managed to boil down the spirit of New Vegas, the spirit of Las Vegas even, into two guest stars. And there's just some kind of magic to that. Like, again, I cannot emphasize enough. RuPaul exists to take their reservations and then walk by poolside and compliment Francine and is never seen in any relevance again. And by the time you get to the end of the episode, of course, John Mayer was actually doing the radio station to get Francine's attention. And of course, Dr. Faye was trying to say she was crazy about it so that she could meet John Mayer and, I guess, have him instead. Like, through the entire episode, Francine says she's fine. She understands, and she wants to get to the bottom of things. She also says that she's moved on from the event. But Stan hasn't. Stan still feels that guilt. Stan feels like Francine deserves better than him. She deserves someone that's not a donkey. And that makes sense for Stan. That is on brand for that character. That is exactly what you would expect from Stan, who has exactly zero self-worth. He always looks at himself abysmally, and he hates himself. We know this. We've seen this. We've seen self-hating Stan. And Francine, being the boss that she is, just doesn't care. She moves on. She still loves him every day. She knows it was an accident and has forgiven him. And she's just doing her own thing and getting to the bottom of the John Mayer mystery. And then she does, while the family is doing their own thing. And that's okay. It's an episode that could have jumped the shark at any moment. It's an episode that could have had too much absurdity. It could have been a gush and completely imploded under its own weight. Where the last episode was, all these people have been in here before. Other than Dumpston, everybody is, a recurring character. Let's have a wild and weird story that just involves Langley. In this episode, okay, we're in a different locale. We are doing something odd already. How do we make this entertaining without making it too over the top, too excessive? We bring in the two most prolific Vegas voice actors that we can get. We make an episode that celebrates Vegas, that celebrates Francine, that celebrates Stan, and gives Roger a great persona. We never veer too far off of that. Despite the fact that Francine should probably almost definitely be dead. Miracle she's alive. Like, the episode... I hate to say this, but it's welling up inside of me. This episode is perfect, gang! This hit everything I needed it to. I was laughing from start to finish. The way Wayne Newton keeps correcting Stan when he's like, I feel a donkey shame. He's like, it's donkey shame. Donkey shame, that's right. I was like, you know what? We love Dumb Stan. We love Dumb Stan episodes. Dumb Stan, dum dum dum, yum yum yum. It hit everything I wanted from a weird but contained Amercan Dad episode. I don't regret watching it. I love it. It's gonna go in my rotation. It made me appreciate Wayne Newton, who I'm now listening to. It's just, it's good TV. What can I say? A donkey's shame is a hyperbaric chamber sleeping. 10 out of 10. See, I should have swapped them. That way, this one scored 101 and got a 10 out of 10, and the last one slept in a hyperbaric chamber. Remember that time where Teddy got his hand stuck in a fridge and thrashed around like a wild animal? I remember. And there we have it. That was my review of the last 2 episodes of Amercan Dad. Anything you think I was right on? Wrong on? What were your favorite parts of the episodes? Least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, and telling your friends. We're out here. Oh, and hype. Make sure to hype. We needed a school episode. Is it the worst school episode? No. Is it dumb in the right ways? Yes. We needed a fun, the family goes somewhere because something's going down episode. Did it hit on every level? No. Was it still worth it to watch? Absolutely. Did it have a charm all its own? That's all I could ask for. And, I don't know, A donkey shame is quickly becoming one of my favorite episodes of the season. I've said it in the past, I love a good dumb Stan episode. Stan being dumb, yum, yum, yum. That's what I say. It really is kind of jarring that we're already coming up on the end of the season with only a few more episodes to go. It's surreal that we're back and we're already going back on break. With only 4 more episodes to go in the season, it's just sort of surreal. We're already through it. And honestly, unless these 4 episodes are just the worst things I've ever seen, this has been a pretty solid season of Amercan Dad. I have been slightly disappointed with some episodes, but there's never been one I wouldn't revisit outside of like Pool Party, and even then I could be strongly convinced. Like I'd watch Dunstan Checks In again, a Dunstan Checks In reference. Sure, why not? Who cares? A donkey shame? Man, I gotta stop thinking Wayne Newton's dead because yeah, he really kind of brings the whole thing together. If he wasn't Wayne Newton, I think I would have had a problem with it. John Mayer not being John Mayer, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. But Wayne Newton as Wayne Newton? Yum, yum, yum. That is some good daddage right there. I sleep in a hyperbolic chamber. I bet you do, Wayne Newton. I bet you do. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Lecture Hall. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining our Patreon or membership programs today. $2 a month gets you your fancy list on this name of champions. Yes, look at them. They always ask for that gentleman's mulligan if they see that look in your eye. They're just that humble. Like always, thank you all so much for watching. Stay strong. Even if you just woke up today, know that I'm proud of you, and keep fighting. That's it. Keep fighting. Rising tide lifts all ships, and I gotta believe one hell of a wave's a coming. We'll get there eventually, gang. Thank you so much for watching. I really genuinely appreciate you giving this channel a chance. And I'll see you all next time.